By far and away one of the fastest developing manufacturers in the world is TVR. This year the Tuscan series has had, of course, their own engine aboard these cars. And Ian Flux heads the list here for 2 races at Silverstone from Martin Short, Steve Cole, Steve Guglielmi, Colin Blower and Bob Sands. And away they go from the start, on a beautiful start too by Flux. Blower, in fact, not driving. Big accident in practice saw him out of this. But he is not too badly hurt, broken ankles and broken ribs, and the foot stuck out on a car, and therefore he's not competing in this race. But I think we'll be back before the end of the season. Martin Short chasing hard, chasing very hard indeed, on the tail of Flux as they go into Beckett's for the first time, out onto the straight down towards that bridge. Just over a year ago, Short moved to these cars from the Rover Turbo Cup. Guglielmi has got better as the season has gone on, well up there too. Huge group of TVRs coming diving down here. Stringing themselves out across the line. Number 9. Gavin Cooper with the dark red car well up there, and 33 on the outside of that group. Nick Creswell, a man to watch. Cooper tucks in behind Bob Sands there. But Flux it is, who's being worried a little bit in the lead. Behind number 3, Steve Cole. Worrying Cole. Pressuring him quite hard, Guglielmi. And you'll notice that missing from that group at the moment is John Kent, who's got the championship won. That's the chairman himself, Peter Wheeler, number 8. With traffic there forcing its way through. And a spin there across. Everybody missed him, nobody knows quite why. By number 55, Mark Preston. As Cole goes through in 4th place. Kent, as we've said, not at the moment showing, but closing up a little bit now at the moment on Cole. So it's been a slow start as we watch Martin Short set off trying to do something about the gap between himself and Flux. And Kent just now about getting into the act, closed that gap significantly on that previous lap. Cole knows he's there, there's Kent, and a huge gap before we get anybody else come through. The yellow car in the middle of there, Giles Cooper. We're with Giles Cooper at the moment. See the camera mounted on the top of the roll bar there. Station Hill Garage, sponsors of Martin Short's car, together with Jadwitz and Uncle Tom Coffin and all, including Mobile. But none of that can help him do anything about the man in the lead there, Ian Flux. Another spinner, that was number 4. Colin Waterhouse gets it going again. Down comes Flux. Flux, who's driven everything, in fact, 38 years old, professional driver, runs a preparation business as well. He's driven single-seaters, saloons, and has now got himself a good lead on Martin Short. Short coming up now, do a bit of lattery, get past 92, Tony Manick. And Manick slides Manick into the pit wall. You can't pick a much worse place than that to hit the pit wall. And he hit it very hard, very strong on the wheel, wanders across the road, it's missed there, and there's a quick burst of flame. In sympathy, number 15 spins his chances away, Giles Cooper. Red flag, the race is halted, the driver perfectly okay. As we see in replay here what happened, there you see second placeman going through, Martin Short. There you see. And something I can't help but think went wrong there. I suspect it might have been a tyre or something let go. A huge impact with the pit wall. The car seriously damaged at the front, spins to a halt, but happily the driver okay. Flux declared the winner from Short, Guglielmi, Kent, Cole and Yeomans. Race 2 of these 2 TVR races here at Silverstone. And everybody backing in, obviously, except the man whom we saw have that huge accident. I'm sure he's perfectly all right. And this time it was a hesitant start by Flux, and it allowed into the lead Martin Short. Martin Short into the lead as on the grass of it again there, a couple of 3 cars, among them number 26. Having a bit of a moment all of his own. Got it back together again, that was Jeff James. So Jeff James regains the track wheel with Giles Cooper, watching 3 cars in front of him, sort out enough road for all 3 here. Looks like the chairman Peter Wheeler there. Giles is bearing down upon. And look now at the effort being made by Flux to close that gap. Comes up, looks very, very closely there at Guglielmi's car. Hasn't found a way through yet. Short in the lead. Guglielmi second. Flux third, and a gap with Flux almost tapping the end of the HRO in car there. Came out a little bit quicker, and I think will essay to make his effort going into Props corner. It's the brave place where experienced drivers like Fluxy usually come home. Bob Sand, you can see in the background there, in the yellow number 7, ahead of number 25. Hanging on in there well, Jason Yeomans, who finished up well in 6th place, you may recall, in the first event. Martin Short weaves a bit under braking there. Flux still desperately trying to get by. That's number 40. Not really making the ground, I think, that he'd hoped to. But making a big effort as they go down there. Martin Stewart, because he's improved considerably on his practice time. There's John Kent, who's driven a very restrained couple of races. John looking at the moment to displace Bob Sands. While 21, also going well today, is our old friend Martin Kras, who really could show, I think, quite an improvement over his practice time, which was way down at the bottom of the list. Flux has a look. Comes in very much quicker. Now, if he can maintain that speed as he comes out, it could or should take him alongside, but Guglielmi holding the inside line there, and that's exactly where Flux would like to be. And you can't steal a march on braking quite as easily as you might think there in these very, very quick cars. Flux right there, dives for the inside now. And Flux up to second. Outwitted Guglielmi there. And put him back to second. And now can concentrate on closing the gap between himself and Martin Short. And I don't think it'll be very long before we see that lead being eaten away. It'll be interesting to see how, when and where, if at all, of course, Ian Flux chooses to have a crack. 25, Jason Yeomans, good race as far as he's concerned. John Kent, as we've said, a restrained race for him. There we see Short in the lead. Flux already threatening. Lights on the leader's car to warn traffic that he's coming upon them, and a sure indication, I think, that Short knows he's got a race on his hands. This looks like John Kent. Yes, it is. Very, very strange line in there. I think he thought he was going to catch up and pass Steve Cole, but it didn't happen for him. A puff of smoke there from Flux's car. I'm not sure where it was coming from. It might have been a tyre, in fact. As he comes out there very, very quickly. Came out of Woodcote very, very quickly indeed. And is right up now with Short. And Flux with a tail trying to take over there. Is right on the tail of Short. There's a yellow flag there because we've got a spinner. That's number 55, who spun his chances away. Out of the contest, Mark Preston. First and second go through with Flux taking notice of the flags and not doing anything about it there. But there's a slower car on the straight. and they're both, I think, going to have to deal with him before they can do anything about the battle between each other. Flux, wider line in. Very much quicker in, much quicker out. But Short knew exactly what was in his mind there and occupied the piece of road where we saw him go past Guglielmi. So, no doubt Ian will be having to think of something else at the moment. And he's right on his tail now. You don't get cars as close as this when they've got a lot of aerodynamic aids on them, because obviously they lose their downforce, but Flux looking at the outside here, then goes to a tight line on the inside, and he's going to come out, I think, the quicker of the two. He does. Flux out the quicker of the two, but didn't snatch the lead there because he saw the yellow flag again. And the yellow flag was what made the difference. I think he committed himself but backed off, showing that he's well in control of the situation. Pushed out of the way there was Preston's car, which is why we had the flags. We've got yellows again down in the complex, and so Flux won't be able to do anything there either. Flux again takes that line in, comes out right on the tail, and will no doubt now make a huge effort to get alongside as they come out. It's now a question of now or never, because time is running out for Ian Flux. He's really got to force his way through to the front. Again, touches the curb there, coming into Copse. Car leapt up the two wheels, came down again. Such as the stability, though, it didn't have any effect at all. Wasn't able to do anything there. Has a good look, and they come into Maggots. That didn't work either. Has a look at the outside, coming into Beckett's. Tightens his line coming out. Tightens his line coming out of Beckett's and gets the power down. But wasn't close enough to get alongside there, and he did it all the road anyway. No flags this time. Flux comes down, looks at the inside. This time he goes to the inside. Goes to the inside, and Short really found himself in a situation there which he couldn't get himself out of. There was no way around. Fights back all the way around the complex here, but it's all over. Red TVR as opposed to Rover, and Ian Flux is in the lead. And whoops, that is going very quickly sideways onto the grass into the bank. Number 2, Rob Redden. Well, it could have been worse. Put it back together again. And Flux now in the lead, being pressured by Short. Now, an inexperienced driver would find this more disconcerting than Ian Flux is going to do, and I'm quite sure that he'd be just as happy to sit out there in the front as everybody would be behind Martin Short. In fact, a good deal happier. Happier he is too, out there. Once again, you can see right on the limit of adhesion, but never beyond it. The car keeping on the brink, much flashing of lights going on. Not that it's going to make much difference. Somebody locked up in front there. But it was all safe and sound and no great problem. And that's Guglielmi, who came down flashing his lights for all he's worth on Short's tail. I think basically to try and distract him if he could. It didn't work. And nothing works because the flag is out. And Ian Flux takes his second win ahead of Martin Short. Guglielmi in third place, Kent fourth, Cole fifth, and Yeomans again a good sixth. A great race here at Silverstone in the TVRs. So Ian Flux then, obviously delighted with 2 wins. The other 2 equally not unhappy, I think, to have lost out to him, with John Kent now in 638 points, 138 ahead of Short. Then Blower, Flux, Cole and Creswell.